Hello YouTube, B3 here, back with a long-awaited and long frustrated, begated, masturbated, rhyming,
procrastinated.
Graphic, yeah, definitely that.
That's what I meant.
Graphic novel review. We have one that I know you guys are going to enjoy. Kong of Skull Island, Volume 1. Now, this doesn't tie into the Kong Skull Island movie, 2017. This is just its own Kong thing, and the Marion C. Cooper family says it's the official Kong prequel.
Ooh.
That's
a big deal.
Marion C. Cooper, Fay Wray, and all those other people were on the original Kong movie, Willis O'Brien, 1933.
Yeah.
I kind of love that movie, in case you didn't notice.
I kind of picked up on that, actually.
I mean, it's the movie that inspired my hero, Ray Harryhausen, so...
It's kind of a movie that's inspired a lot of people. Like,
yeah.
I hear, like, movies that inspired people, and it's like Kong or...
Kong's on there.
Yeah.
But,
or Wizard of Oz. Like, those are the two movies I always hear inspire big, famous movie makers.
Yeah, but I'm a big Kong fan, which is odd because there's not a lot of good Kong stuff out there. Most Kong stuff actually is quite awful. Yeah. But, so this book, better than I was expecting it to be, and it's really not even a surprise it was good, because it's Boom Studios, who does the amazing Power Ranger books that I love. And,
you do love them. You talked about them several times off camera tonight.
We did review one of them. We did Power Rangers Aftershock, the movie sequel.
I'm ready to see some more of the Power Rangers. I really enjoyed Aftershock.
I bet there's not a second movie. Bet you anything there's not a second movie.
It didn't get much
It's doing terrible in Japan right now. And if it's... I mean, that's where it fucking comes from.
Yeah, if it's not succeeding... Look,
different
topic.
We gotta... I might vlog about it later, but we gotta fucking keep going.
You're right.
Kong of Skull Island... This book does an amazing job of creating a culture for these natives. They're not caricatures. It's not racist in any way.
Not that the two white boys in the room can tell anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I just tried to keep an eye out for it because remember in 2004, remember that Kong movie? That's not a good portrayal of natives.
No, it's not.
No. The 1933 one was actually not even that bad for the time.
No, for the time.
At least it wasn't
for the time.
The natives in the Japanese Godzilla, or King Kong versus Godzilla, it's blackface for every single one of them. There's not a single black person in that movie.
I'm sorry, but there's so much weird racist stuff out of Japan.
Welcome to the... Well, on one hand, like I don't want to defend blackface, because it's wrong.
It's awful.
No matter, they could have just had Asian natives.
Or actual black actors.
Yeah, but it was hard to get black actors in Japan right after World War II.
Yeah.
So, good luck. But in this book, because one of the complaints I've always had about Kong is just being a guy who looks at the world scientifically, has been no way that big-ass ape evolved alongside dinosaurs.
Or did it survive on that tiny little island with the limited resources it allows?
Turns out they didn't evolve alongside the dinosaurs.
Hey!
They were bred like hunting dogs would be bred, to battle for their gods and shit. So they were like regular apes that they bred into big apes, which kinda makes sense. And since they're like the 1933 sized Kong, it's a Kong that could possibly exist. Probably not, because it would take a lot of calories to keep that body going.
Yeah, like I said,
they could
limited
easily
resources
overheat.
on an island. But it does make far more feasible sense.
Yeah, and there's lots of Kongs, and they're trained. You can train them, and you can train apes. We do that today.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, and lots of political intrigue in this book, too. Different tribes fighting. They're not even fighting really war-wise. It's more of a class war.
Yeah.
They're pretty civilized.
It's a social conflict.
And it's really excellent. And then there's this volcano on their island they live on. It erupts. They gotta leave. They end up on Skull Island.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lots of dinosaurs there. But another thing I like is the dinosaurs in this book aren't dinosaurs.
They're like evolved.
They're like concepts dinosaurs. Like they just created their own dinosaurs and aren't using ones from the past because they would have evolved.
Yeah.
They would have evolved.
In 65 million years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
That's gonna happen. And some of them are smart.
Yeah. Which is freaky.
Because like in Jurassic Park, they just talk about raptors are so smart. Smart as a turkey.
Yeah.
Turkey was smart for dinosaurs, dude. Some dinosaurs had to have a second brain in their ass just so they could walk.
Yeah.
Because their brains were so goddamn
tiny. It was what do they call it? What's the official name? It's not even a brain. It's like a nerve.
Yeah, just a bundle.
Yeah.
Insane. right? Dinosaurs were dumb as
Dumb
fuck.
as shit.
Some of the dinosaurs draw a map on the ground in this book.
Which is fantastic.
And there's just like
I mean,
romance, there's politics, there's action. This is an excellent
It's very
book.
well done.
It's
very
pretty good.
comprehensive. If you like, basically, if you like media, there's going to be something in here for you to enjoy, probably.
I just thought it was going to be all right when I got it.
And you were very pleasantly surprised, I assume.
Yeah, the critics actually really love it too. So when the critics and the fans agree, that's rare, but also because critics are snobs. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But Kong says the two guys reviewing it on the vlog.
Yeah, we're pretty flexible.
People who get paid to be critics think they're hot
Yeah,
shit.
well,
We don't get paid.
They get paid to like be assholes though.
Yeah, but
We
the
get
art's
paid
good
in viewership.
and the writing is great. It's a good book, and I'm going to be getting volume 2, and I'm also going to get, because there is another Kong comic series that does go with the movie, and I'll be getting that too.
Do you expect that to be any good?
Yes.
Okay, good.
If it's good as the 2 MonsterVerse movies have had so far, it'll be pretty excellent. It's a prequel and a sequel. Because it's a sequel, they're going back to the island, but they discover stuff that happened beforehand.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's telling
Okay.
2 stories.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to bring it all together.
Like the Godzilla Rage Across Time miniseries, which many people who might be watching a video about a Kong comic would understand.
I don't.
So, good book. It was a good book. But that's it, right? That's
it.
James Asmus, Carlos Magno, Brad Simpson. I'm not familiar with any of them, but they did great work.
Look, as somebody who came in with absolutely no preconceived Kong love, anything like that, I can absolutely say it was very well done.
Yeah, see, total outsider, like a lot of books we have, so.
This is even more outside than any other book we've done for me. Even more outside than Power Rangers. Like, my experience with Kong was the one with the 2004 Kong. That was literally the depth of my experience with King Kong.
I need to read this book again. Now I was just sitting here, I've read this book once, and then I handed it to you, and you kept it for 2 months, and now we're making this video.
Hi, guys.
But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and I'll be seeing you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later. Hello, YouTube. It is your boy B3 back with another kicking graphic novel review. See? Yeah, so we got a cool trade for you guys today. A series we've already started. Kong of Skull Island. Yeah, this is volume 2. Pretty cool. Like that art. I dig it. It's very swag. It's very ace. So, I'm going to give you the read up from the back here. The fight for survival. After the endless onslaught of horrors plague the tribes, Iwata embarks on a journey to find the source of these attacks and face the god of this island. With tension brewing between the temporarily united Tagu and Atu tribes, it falls to Iwata, with the Kong at her side, to bring peace. From James Asmus, All New Inhumans, and Carlos Magno, Planet of the Apes, comes the thrilling, authorized origin of Kong. Yeah, so it's authorized by the Marion C. Cooper family. So this is an official Kong origin. Just official general Kong origin. And it's pretty cool. I love this art, and the story's good. You know, the natives aren't caricatures, they aren't portrayed in a racist way at all. Seems like they really fleshed out the culture, tried to develop a culture for these natives, all that stuff, same stuff we said in the Volume 1 review that I did with Maddie Matt. So, they're chasing down the god of the island, which turns out to be this dope-ass two-headed dinosaur motherfucker. Very cool. Very cool. So they fight that. They end up beating it with poison that was supposed to be used on a Kong, that the shaman was going to kill that Kong so he could kill our main character Iwata because she carried royal blood in her tummy. She's preggo with the murdered king's baby. But yeah, that shaman dies, and then his daughter, who was the queen, dies. She gets eaten up too. But that Kong gets blamed for his death as a wild Kong and is exiled, so she can't enter the city or anything. And it's really sad. She rescues someone from a mine, still don't let her enter the city. And years go by, Iwata has her baby. She becomes the queen mother. And the tribes unite into one people. Very cool. And then we get to just see what Vala, the Kong that was exiled, is doing. She's going around, she's like feeding Triceratops babies and stuff. She's being real nice, seems real lonely. Then a bunch of people try to kill her to get vengeance, and she kind of slaughters them. And stumbles upon a baby Kong, the first wild-born Kong, and I believe this Kong to be the King Kong in the movies. Male Kong baby. I believe that's supposed to be Kong Kong. And then that Kong has a mother who's like covered in scars, blind in one eye. They fight. That mother falls in like a mine, and apparently fights a bunch of velociraptor-looking motherfuckers down there. There's like this raptor species that's pretty smart, like a real, like smarter than the ones in Jurassic Park. I know that raptors were actually about as smart as turkeys, which is smart for a dinosaur, considering these animals were so dumb they had to have a second brain in their ass to move. But yeah, so these are some smart raptors. They were following the orders of the giant two-headed dinosaur, which was cool. And they seem to they're just smart. They're like setting traps. They were drawing in the end of one book, it looked like. That was pretty cool. That was in volume 1, though. But I mean, it's great stuff. It's really, really great stuff. I'm not gonna lie, lots of Kong stuff is pretty bad. Most Kong movies are actually awful. I know lots of fanboys they'll just suck Kong's dick all day, but most Kong movies and stuff are pretty bad. But this is quite a good book. It's a really good book. This is not the official Monsterverse book. That's a different book. We'll be doing that at some point also, probably. But Skull Island is a different book by Boom Studios and not Legendary Comics. And it's just great. The art's great. The writing's good. Everything about it's pretty dope. You got a good creative team here. James Asmus, Carlos Mango, sorry. Brad Simpson, Jeremy Lawson. You know, I'm not actually familiar with any of them, to be totally honest, beyond this title, anyways. But this is a good book. It's obvious that the little Kong gets his protective nature from Vala adopting him, because she's a very protective Kong. The only Kong to be raised with love and respect in their society, so that's that. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep it short, I guess. This has been Kong of Skull Island, Volume 2. Definitely check it out. I'm subscribed to these at my local comic shop, so whenever a new one comes out, I get it in my box. It's really worth the read. I'm actually glad I didn't get the single issues, because I just really wanted to read this, and it's definitely worth rereading, for sure. Actually, I really need to reread Volume 1 so I can remember some of these people's names and remember some stuff about their culture, because it is relevant in here. So I'm probably going to reread Volume 1 soon as well, but I have a whole stack of, like, books I haven't even touched yet that I need to read. So I'll be doing that and getting some reviews of them. We actually just had some Batman and Robin stuff. So, yeah. But that's it. Thank you all once again. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out the links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. We do single comic book reviews on my B3 Productions channel. On the B3 Productions channel, we review single issues of comic books. In the comic book haul videos, every book we show, we review it while we show it, because it's just faster to do single issues that way. Saves a lot of time for everybody. But that's it. Thank you all once again. Whew. And I gotta go take my kitty to the vet, so I'll see you all later. Hello YouTube, B3 are back, another kicking graphic novel trade review. Sorry I look wet, it's because I am wet. I was just at the pool and at the beach. And I came back to do a little reading. Today we have the final chapter of this book, Kong of Skull Island Volume 3. Yeah, this is the last volume for Kong of Skull Island. We've already reviewed the first two, so go check them out. I'll give you a read-up from the back here. For the fate of Skull Island. There are some who would see the Kong as monsters, beasts willing to unleash the anger they have within. When a coup is formed to take Iwata from power and show the Tagu and Atu people the dangers of the Kong, the island is thrown into chaos. From James Amus and Carlos Magno comes the authorized conclusion to the origin of Kong. So this is like, this is now the official Kong origin for just Kong in general. So that's good. There's a separate origin for the MonsterVerse Kongs, the Kong Skull Island movie Kong, and I've already reviewed that book also, so check it out. Doing a lot of Kong reviews. But it's a good book. I really like the art. It's very unique feeling art, and I like the portrayal of the natives. It's not racist or stereotypical in any way. They have a good flushed out culture, and there are two different cultures actually, because there are two different tribes that were not friendly to each other, and then their island, there was a big eruption, they had to sail to a new island, and the island they sailed to had a bunch of dinosaurs on it, Skull Island, and so they have to kind of get past their differences to work together to survive, because there's so few of them left. And the thing I like about the dinosaurs is they aren't actual dinosaurs. They look like dinosaurs, but they're also drawn kind of differently. So it looks like dinosaurs that have continued to evolve. So they aren't just dinosaurs that didn't evolve at all for 65 million years, which doesn't make sense. They have evolved some, and gotten smarter, too. And the Kong, which another thing that never made sense about Kong to me, was how the hell did Kong evolve? Because it didn't make any biological sense. Kong isn't from Skull Island. Kong is from the natives' original island. They actually bred these Kong to be gigantic and domesticated. So it makes more sense. Really nice, really well thought out mythology of these books. But in this one, some of the people are trying to build a citadel to defend themselves against the demons, aka the dinosaurs. And the queen isn't about that. She's like, we have Kong, we have a wall, why do we need this citadel? Why do we need to put our own people in danger? There's actually no real right or wrong when it comes to the citadel, because the Kong, they are animals, and they do a good job of keeping the people safe, but I mean, if you're going to live on an island full of monsters, you got to learn how to fight them at the same time, So I think personally the Citadel was a good idea, but they should have relied on the Citadel and the Kong, and then they would have been the safest. But the argument is just the Citadel or just the Kong. One side wants just the Kong to protect them, one side wants just the Citadel. So the Citadel people steal the research from the Kong fighting pits, because they used to have Kong fighting pits on their old island, and they would make the Kong more aggressive with these insects so they would fight each other. Well, they make a super version of this insect that makes the Kong go absolutely batshit crazy so that the Kong will attack their own people. It's a big conspiracy. So the Kong will attack their own people, and then they'll be like, oh, look how dangerous the Kong were this whole time, even though they did it. Fucking Mr. Oz shit, you know what I'm saying, from Superman? I already reviewed that book recently, too. The Oz Effect, check it out. But yeah, so they do that, but the incense also drives every single dinosaur monster on the island crazy. So they're all killing everything. And the princess was kidnapped to be sacrificed to the feral Kong beyond the wall. And there's this feral Kong, which is actually the mother of the baby Kong in this book. And I believe the baby Kong in this book is supposed to be the Kong. But I'm not totally sure. The Kong could be an even further descendant down. The one that abducts Fay Ray. And I can make a good case for this being that Kong. One, it's the youngest. It's the only baby Kong. Two, it was the protector of a white-haired girl, because she was like traumatized and her hair all turned white. So Kong, seeing Andera with her golden hair, could have associated that with the white-haired girl, right? And so he would have seen Andera as her and wanted to protect her. So I think this Kong is the Kong from that, even though it's not explicitly stated anywhere. But I think I've made a good case for it. I think that's why they gave this girl white hair, the princess. But the princess was taken by the feral Kong beyond the wall, and there are these things called the Death Walkers, which are basically like hairy velociraptors. And in the last volume, the Death Walkers lost their god, so to speak. There was this giant two-headed T-Rex thing, and one of the Kongs killed it. And so the Death Stalkers, while really intelligent, kind of like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park, need a god to follow, according to this book. So they started following the Kong beyond the wall. So there's a feral Kong out there with a fucking army of velociraptors, which is pretty dope. But he kidnaps her, and then the young Kong fights it to get her back, and the mom is going on like a spree trying to get her kid back. with the little Kong, and the incense thing just really backfires. And it gets most of the conspirators killed. And then in the end, she takes the conspirators back for trial. And but she's like, I won't judge them because they stole my daughter, and I can't be impartial to it. I know they're guilty, but I'm going to let the people decide their fates. Which was fine. But the people decided to give them mercy and to basically just put them under house arrest. They aren't allowed to leave, like, the main part of the city. That was the only consequence. But the Kong went batshit crazy, right? Because of the incense. And even though people know the Kong went crazy because of these people in the incense, the people get off basically scot-free, and every single Kong gets banished into the interior of the island, never to be seen again. But the white-haired princess is crowned queen because she has grown up with both these people, and she understands and respects both people's traditions, so she's the only one that can really unite the people. Which she seems to do, actually. It's implied that she does indeed unite them at the end of the book, but she also had a good relationship with the Kong. So the last thing written in this book, the last narration is, and with her influence, Kivani ensured Kong would be treated, feared, and protected like a god. So because of that Queen's influence, that's why they came to see Kong as gods eventually down the line, generations later. But yeah, it was a good book. I think I like the other volumes better, but this is still a really good book. Kong of Skull Island, Volume 3. James Amos, Carlos Magno, Jeremy Lawson. Great art, good writing. I mean, this is really creative for a Kong book. Most Kong stuff, I'm going to be honest with you, most Kong-like movies and stuff actually suck. Most Kong stuff actually sucks. But Kong of Skull Island is an excellent comic run. There's even a one-shot, Kong Gods of Skull Island, that I reviewed a single issue of in my comic book collection updates. So if you want to see me review single issues of books, watch my comic book haul videos on my B3 Productions channel, which is my second channel. But I mean, I really loved it. The art is good and consistent. It's just, it really helps the mythology make more sense. And I like that. This was definitely very well thought out. It wasn't just thrown together to give Kong an origin and mooch off of a well-known franchise. It was obviously well thought out. And I'm happy for that. So thank you, Boom Studios. Boom has been doing a lot of good work lately. If you haven't read their Power Ranger books, you are fucking missing out, because they're like my favorite things in comics right now. The Boom Studios Power Ranger books. Check them out. I haven't read Go-Go yet, but I'm waiting for the trades to come out for it. They'll probably be out by the time this video goes up. I don't know. But, yeah, so that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. You can check out our Volumes 1 and 2 reviews if you haven't already. Kong of Skull Island, an excellent comic book. Definitely check it out. It's a great run. I love it. So that's it. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you all later.